G'day friends, welcome to today's YouTube video. My name is James, welcome back to my channel. Welcome if you're new. Today's going to be a quick one. I've got a few spare minutes before I've got to run off to work, and I'm currently in the middle of Virtual Voyage 9. Can you believe I'll just be honest with you, I did consider taking a small little break from YouTube whilst I did my workshop, but I feel very guilty doing that because I commit to coming here every Friday, and I wasn't here last Friday because I was waiting for the Junk Journal July video to go up on the 15th, which didn't work out to be a Friday. So thank you also for your patience while that happened. But I'm a little bit pressed for time, and I just thought, no, there is always something I can do. So quote me saying that the next time I try to take a little bit of a break from YouTube, because there really is. I could be on here for 10 minutes just doing a bunch of stuff, catching up with you, sharing my stories that you've heard before. And I do have a bunch of junk. Look, I've already pulled it out from the little box that I keep over there of all my junk. I got a bunch of junk that I need to get into this journal before it just overwhelms me. Also, I do have photos of me sunbathing. Look, you can see my legs coming out there in this journal. So if that's going to really terrify you and you want to preserve my innocence in your eyes, you don't want to see me sunbathing by the pool in photos, then just turn this video off because we might accidentally flash past it. It's an art journal. So there's lots of art in here. It's actually my Mermay journal. I haven't really pulled it out since I've been doing my workshop, but once I did Mermay in it, I was committed to making sure that I just used it as a journal and kind of got all the other bits and pieces in there. So now we're at that stage where Mermay is well and truly finished, but I've still got the journal to use. This was my cast at Preserved that I ended up not finishing this piece for. I know I have another little bit of Knott's Berry Farm ephemera somewhere. Oh, here it is. Get a bit of washi. Some stars. Put that up there. It's a complimentary meal and beverage. It's like a little appreciation slip that I got for doing a good job, I guess. I don't know, it doesn't really say it on there. This one's not expired, so I'm washi taping it just on the off chance that I do go back to Knott's this year and I want to redeem that meal. As it stands, I don't really have anything to return to Knott's with, which is a little sad. I didn't book the show that I did last year. I did miss out on that, so I was a little bit upset about that, but such is life, honestly, as a performer. Sometimes you will literally audition for the thing that you've done before and you will not get it. And it can be a little hard to swallow, honestly. I'm always taking things a little bit harder than I should. I think as I get older, I feel like time is a little bit more fleeting and my opportunities seem to like fly by. And I just don't want to let me just do this bit. I'm saving this tissue paper like it's the last bit of tissue paper on earth. Rationing it off. I love the Grinch. I feel like my opportunities kind of fly by and maybe I get a little upset because I think another season off. It was, if you remember last year, I did Not Scary Farm and I was dancing on the balcony in that show where I had all the glitter on my face. It was for that. And unfortunately, there just aren't as many dance opportunities as there used to be. So you win some, you lose some. But like I said, I get this feeling that like there's just not enough time for me to miss a season of dancing. And so then it feels very dire when I don't book something, especially if I've done it before, because then I start to get in my head about like, oh, did I lose my talent? Did something go wrong? And it's really nothing like that. It's just the name of the game. That's literally just how it goes. And I guess I can cover that. That doesn't really matter. Or maybe I'll do it this way. The printer didn't print off the bottom of this, but it was okay. It's just for this journal. These are the photos I just posted on Instagram of the outfits that Steve and I wore for our Virtual Voyage theme night. Something Susian. We got a Grinch outfit and a Cindy Lou outfit. And then we did look a bit of a Brat Girls Run Wild. We went down to the car park, the parking garage in our structure, and just had a photo shoot as if we were a night out on the town. It was really stupid, but we had a good time. I have a bunch of these as well. Let me put some of these on here because I did these for Virtual Voyage. They're pieces of post-it tape that I hand drew some designs on them so that they looked very hand done. These are the originals, and I don't usually like to use the originals because the graphite transfers. So I've been using the printable version in my other journal. All right, we can leave that. Speaking of, these were also the portraits we did of the very first theme night live that we did. I feel like they could go there, or I could put one here, one there. This is, I'll put this because it's over the rainbow. Dorothy. Here, where? I get really annoyed when things are graphic like that and they don't line up, so I'll have to do it maybe like that. That still includes everything. This dress is the little Dorothy dress that my gran made me when I was little and that I used to wear to death. I would literally sleep in it. And I have it with me, and so when we were picking characters for the theme night was Book Week, I picked The Wizard of Oz because I wanted to put my Dorothy dress on. Obviously, I couldn't fit into it because I'm not a little boy anymore, but fun fact, I just pinned it to the front of a suit and tried to do some avant-garde fashion interpretation with it. And then we went and shot these over on a parking structure. Maybe all of our photo shoots will be in a parking structure for Virtual Voyage 9. There's no real reason for it. It was just what we had available, and I thought there was some structural elements to the parking structure, like this big wall, that could be fun. The portraits are just to commemorate the outfit. We don't really need to do the most. Although it is fun to kind of challenge ourselves every now and again. Originally, they were so that Steve could practice his portrait photography because it was in the pandemic and he had just started learning how to do portrait lighting. I'm going to put this over here because this is my Virtual Voyage captain uniform. Courtesy of Amazon. Well, not courtesy of, I did buy it. Not sponsored. I got a couple of these dancing photos that I do want to put in. And I also have those little post-it tapes that you saw. They come in a tape runner. I got it from Daiso years ago. I have a couple of them. Super cute. But they're like post-it tape. And this was on the top of the tape, like right at the beginning, and they were sun-dyed. Like the sun had kind of bleached them. So I took those off, but I think I'm just going to put them here because waste not, want not. So I'm in my junk journal era. Every piece of junk goes in. These photos are from Disneyland's 69th birthday. I just performed in a little cavalcade there the other day. That was super fun. I love doing the special events. I feel very special. But they're over so quickly. Like the experience happens so quickly. We usually rehearse them pretty quickly, and then we perform them super quickly, and then before you know it, it's all over. Red Rover. I keep the back of these post-its because I always feel like it's a bit of an accomplishment when you finish an art supply, and all my other finished art supplies are in a box underneath the desk just over there. Excuse me, my nose is running. What a time to have an allergy attack. When I press film, it always is. There is, I do keep these for this journal. Any piece of offcut that I have from a photo, I keep, and I put it here. Some journals have these like little collections going of random things. Usually it's something sticky. I could put a post-it note collection in here because I've got all these post-its that I need to put in there. What I was saying before this siren came to come get me, I'm going to say currently collecting on this because I am collecting these little bits and bobs. The art supplies that are finished are in that little box, and so I don't really get to display any of them, and like I said, they're a bit of an accomplishment. So the back of the post-it pad, this, I feel like is always a bit of an accomplishment because there's a lot of post-its in there and I am using a lot. But usually I use these. These are from my bento box that we did for Virtual Voyage 6. So I have those. They're not technically post-its, they're notepads because they don't have the sticky bit. I was going to get post-its, but I opted for notepads. A gummed notepad. Either way, I still like them. And I've always got my tape runner handy, so it's fine. But I do love to celebrate finishing an art supply. It's something that I never used to actually get to. I never finished an art supply. wouldn't say I was a hoarder, like I didn't use them, but I just used them so sparingly. Like I remember dishing out little bits of paint like there was never going to be paint left in the world. Now I'll just put a whole bunch on and just find somewhere else to paint it if I don't use it all. All right, I've got a few bits of packaging. I like to keep my packaging just for nostalgia's sake. This is from a toy I got from Will. Super cute, a little phone charm. And then that's from some underwear brand. This is a little banner I might put here so that I can write Disneyland 69th, sorry. Not 68th. Let me get a pen. I'll use a brush pen, be nicer. Disneyland 69th B-Day. Pretend like I'm going to write a few things there, but I'm not going to. I just know myself. When I'm on video, I don't tend to write things because I think it's really boring to watch. What do you think? Do you care? I mean, real time especially, I feel like that's really boring. But do you care if I write things? Look at Savannah, little niece. I told you about this journal, didn't I? This is my Mermay journal, and that I'm committed to using it as a regular journal. Originally, it was from... Oh, I can save that. Originally, it was from Daisy Ween. Remember we did that challenge? And I made those books on Amazon, and I was testing the different quality because I didn't know if the paperbacks were going to be different quality than the hardcover. Turns out they're all made from different places, so the paper quality is all about the same. But I had a few of the hardcover books that I didn't end up using because I did mine in a paperback version. This was, I can't even show you because it's fully covered and painted, but this one has it on there. These, when you buy them, it says not for resale, banded around the front so that you don't sell them. This is another one I had, and I've just done all my virtual voyage stuff in here. This is my virtual voyage notes. This book, I felt like, had just regular kind of copy paper. It's like a little bit better than regular copy paper from your printer, but I wanted to make sure I put it to use. And now I actually really love the format. I don't know, I'm just really loving being back in hardcover journals. I do have one more of these Diario Grafico ones. I swear, I need to find out who I can import those from and just sell them from my Etsy because they are some of the best hardcover art journals I've ever used. But all about Mui somewhere. Here, too stark. Here, too stark. Let's want it on a white page. Here? Yeah, that's good right there. A lot of the times if I feel like I'm being fussy, I will just put the tape or the glue. It's usually a tape runner. I'll put it on. Moi. And then I have no choice but just to get it down. I'll just hold it in my hand and kind of flip through the journal and it'll find somewhere to be. Doesn't always have to make sense. So do you know what? Remember I told you I was putting tape on these to make sure that I could preserve what was underneath? It turns out that the tape was the thing that made them disappear. So I don't know how. Maybe it's heat that traps. No, because I think the heat is what makes it ink. I have no idea, but yeah. I wrote down because I was like, maybe this will fade. I'll write down what it is because these are essentially just blank pieces of paper now that I've taped into my book. My stuff? No. I kind of wanted to put this somewhere else I was collecting. Look at that. It's a weird, I don't know what you call that. It's a sticker. It's for a suction cup on a wall. But I felt like it'd make a cute bubble kind of enhancement to one of my mermaids. I really just stuck the most random stuff in here. I'm going to put that right there. It doesn't make any sense there, but it's where it's going. Probably haven't seen a lot of this flipped. Oh, here it is. See, optional round sticker. It's when I got one of those shower mirrors so I could shave in the shower because I get really bad razor burn. And someone said if you do it in the shower, the steam will open up your pores. And it has helped, actually. I still get razor burn. I think I'm just really sensitive, but it has helped. I don't know if I'm going to find a full page to be able to put all of my post-its, so I might just end up sticking them wherever. Like, let's just stick one here. Post-its are sticky, but I still put a little bit of extra on the bottom. I don't want to cover any of my drawings, unless I do. But not that one. These look good here. I'm not super careful about how I place things in here, because I always feel like if I flip through the journals and something pops out, I can just grab the tape runner and give it an extra piece, but most things don't. So I don't need to worry, I don't think. That's just slightly going to cover her, but I'm going to do it. These are all the names of the Instagram accounts that post photos of us at Disney. I just need to remember, because I'm going to post a whole big compilation at the end. Oh, my nipple ring I lost. I had to get a whole different... If you didn't know this, I have both nipples pierced. I know, shock. I told you I have sunbathing photos in here. This was the ring that was in there, and I bought a replacement, but they're much thicker than that one. And the only reason I bought the replacement is because I couldn't find the ball, and it was gonna like slide out. So I put it in. This is so gross. Like, don't listen if you're squeamish, but because the bar was so much thicker, I really just kind of had to push it through and kind of re-pierce the nipples. It was so sore and so painful. And as soon as I had put both of them in, because I couldn't just have one smaller one bigger one, once I'd put both of them in, I found the little ball just on the ground right there. But I'd already put them through at that point. So anyway, I put that in there. Now it's just a funny story that makes me a little bit sad, because I feel like I might be doing irreparable damage to my body by re-piercing my own nipples every time I need to change those bars. I'm going to put this over the top here. I love how I said I'm not going to cover the mermaids, but I really am. I could pull that off if I needed to, but all of these are scanned and it's all fine. These are the little post-its I have on my computer. I got this one here at this point to remind me of the things that I need to do. I put it right next to the keyboard, or the trackpad, the little mouse. Oh, is that almost it? I've got one of Olivia Newton-John, love her. And then one of Lige Lu. He's getting his adult teeth coming through now. It's so cute, but also another disturbing sign of how time quickly flies. And my little Lige Lu is becoming a full-grown boy. He loves soccer too. He's really good at it too. I don't know why, I just assume because he's just young and, you know, just starting out. Ooh, Liv Newton-John. I just assumed he wouldn't be very good at it, like I wasn't very good at it. But he's amazing. And then I had to remember, like, some people can just be naturally gifted at things. He's just naturally gifted at soccer. He's got that long, lanky body for it as well, and he loves to run around and be quick on his feet, so it's great. I play with him when I go visit at home. He gives me a run for my money. Also, I'm not very good, so there's that. My brother and I both did soccer when we were younger, and he was in the A grade. He was a goalkeeper because he's really tall and could cover the entire goal. I was a right back. I don't even know what you really call that. But basically, I was only on the sidelines to do cartwheels if we ever got a goal. And then I would do the throw-ins because I had a really good throw-in. Could not run to save my life. Wasn't good at kicking the ball. Like, just nothing. I got in trouble for kicking too high. They would tell me to keep my foot below shoulder level because I was doing full high kicks, Moulin Rouge style, every time I saw the ball, which was hardly. And I was in the D grade. And I'm pretty sure we lost every single game that we had. So that was my experience with soccer. I'm just going to put these two on because then I can get rid of that piece of paper. My paper. And I don't mind the graphite. Like, it doesn't really transfer to the other pages, but it irritates me because it transfers to my fingers. And once it's on my fingers... Oh, look, there's a full double page spread. Once it's on my fingers, that's when I get smudgy fingerprints everywhere. Which is not my fantasy. Pull a piece of that off there. And let's go here. All right. Do you want a quick flip? I'll give you a quick flip. This is not a flip by any means. I'm not really going to explain anything. Those going here. But just to see, oh, I should probably finish that because it's all done. It's obviously a lot of mermaids from Mermay, but there were, I think, more of these other mermaids than there were actual challenge, because the mermaid challenge has 31, but I think I had tons more of just ancillary mermaids running around the pages, which I found really interesting because I sometimes consider, like when I do the challenges, oh, it's going to be so much. How am I going to manage to do 31 mermaids? But then there's something about kind of diving into that creative frenzy, and I absolutely mean that pun, so I won't pardon it. There's something about diving into it that I think kind of creates a momentum, and then then you take your head out of a challenge space. And when I was giving myself time to just be in the journal and have a good time playing with like little stickers and little photos and everything else that I was putting in here, I found myself creating more and more and more. And so then the challenge became sticking to deciding to do the 31 on these right hand side pages. But then the kind of, I guess, benefit of being inspired and feeling creative and feeling successful was that you end up creating a whole bunch more. And so some people say like that creativity begets more creativity, or that the momentum that you feel will kind of fuel you to going further. And I really do believe in all of that, but I don't try to push that as like a kind of fix to people who are struggling creatively, because sometimes you just really need to accept that there's an ebb and flow, that sometimes you are just producing a lot more because you've got time for it, you've got energy for it, you've got motivation for it. Like it just kind of fits into your flow better. And then other times it's not like you've stopped completely. I mean, you might have, but there are also good reasons for why you might be creating a little less. Maybe you're taking more time to create more intentional things, or some of the skills you're building or the pieces you're trying to create are more difficult and therefore take more time. And so then you look at the quantity of content that you're creating. I say content like if you're social media, but just the quantity of what you're creating, and it seems like a lot less, then you start to think you're doing less, but that's not necessarily the case. So I always just kind of think that it ebbs and flows, and that in periods like this where I give myself a challenge, where it's really the only creative thing I'm focusing on, I'm not super, I was doing a lot of other things at this point, but it wasn't, everything seemed a lot more manageable than it does right now. So I think, obviously resulted in a lot more. But currently I'm so focused on a workshop. I'm tying up the last few weeks of dancing at Disneyland, and, it's become a lot more social over the summer. So I feel like I let myself, be okay with having less to show for my time, because it's just been given elsewhere, and that's also okay, and that's also important. Sometimes you just need to go out and have other experiences that you can come back to your journal and feel fueled by. Sometimes I remember back to when I was just journaling, and then I was journaling about journaling, and then a lot of the time, I mean, that's very specific to if your job is art journaling and creating art journaling content. I feel like most people probably couldn't relate to that, but it was getting very meta, like it was getting very recycled. And I started to feel like I need to go and do and have experiences that, I could actually come back and write about, rather than writing. You know what I mean? It just felt so cyclical. And some of that was also pandemic, because there wasn't much to go out and do. But I think it all kind of plays together. I think if you can go and, sometimes when I go out on walks, like I think, oh, I should probably stay home and finish up that piece of work. And, I'm still in the mood to draw, so I should probably just draw right now. But then I think, no, I just need to get out of the house. I'm going to go for a 5-minute, not 5 minute, I'm going to go for a 40-minute walk. Would never go for a 5-minute walk. That'd be a waste for me. But I want to go for a 40-minute walk, and then I'll clear my head, I'll put my YouTube on, I'll go and feel good about getting out and moving my body. And then when I come back, I end up doing the drawing so much better than I was before, in a better headspace. And usually I will have taken some photos on my walk. I print those out, put them in my journal as well. And so the act of doing the other thing becomes some of the fuel for being creative. So don't discount all the other ways that you kind of refuel yourself. You don't have to put yourself in front of a journal and get art supplies out to feel creative. You can end up feeling creative just by doing a ton of other things. A lot of people feel creative after they watch videos, or they look at Instagram content, or they go through TikTok, or whatever. Some people find that completely the opposite. They feel drained after doing all that, or they feel less creative because there's a comparison thing going on, and then they feel defeated. You got to know what works for you. But my point being, you don't always have to sit in front of your journal, grab your supplies out, and then do more than you did last time. Your journal isn't capitalism. There's not an endless goal of money that you're trying to accrue, and you'll never be happy with it. I don't know if that's really what capitalism is, but I've heard that. My only thing on that is I always just think companies, right? Companies will slash funds from so many different parts of the company, and then they'll increase profit in every which way they can. And it usually comes at reducing, the input from everywhere else. And then you just think, and they raise prices, but they don't give you more, and it just gets out of hand. And then you're like, where is the end? Where does it stop? Because you can't keep going further and further and further. Eventually you will fall over the other side of the cliff, where people won't be paying for that product anymore. They won't be investing their money in that anymore. It's gone too far one way, and then suddenly you lose. And so I feel like sometimes I don't want to bring those energies to my life in general. I want to know what I'm happy with and stay around that area. I don't need to push to an endless, do more than I've ever done. I end up doing a lot anyway, but I think that's relative to who you are. Some people create tons and tons of pieces of work in a day. Some people spend 2 weeks creating one piece of work. So one is not better than the other, but if it feels right for that person, I think that's what feels right for them. And I would try not to compare yourself that way, because you really do need to know what feels right for you. If you want to be creating a lot, there are ways to get quicker. If there's a way to, end up doing that, but there's going to be a natural rhythm to it all. There's going to be an amount that you feel like you can actually manage. And I just feel like I don't need to set myself up to do more than I've ever done. If I want to challenge myself to, that's fine. But I'm okay to do 31 mermaids for the challenge and call that successful, because that's what I set myself out to do. If I ended up doing 200 mermaids, wow, can't believe that happened. But that's just gravy on top. If I did 31 mermaids in 2015, and then I wanted to do 40 mermaids in 2016, then I wanted to do 60 mermaids in 2017, and then I wanted to do 80 mermaids, you know what I mean? Just goes further and further and further. I mean, you can challenge yourself to do stuff like that, but I'd always check in with why and if that really is important, because a lot of people do end up getting overwhelmed by their own expectations and then feel defeated by them. And they're usually always in your control, especially when it comes to art. No one's really forcing any of us to do any of it. So we can choose to succeed at what we want to do. I don't know why I felt like telling you that, but there's just something that does play in my mind about, I think when I get to these points, when I'm doing workshops and I'm doing videos and I'm doing collaborations and I'm doing so much, I always kind of check back in with myself. Did I choose to do this amount, or have I somehow, have I got some accomplishment complex where I feel like I need to go and achieve something? So that's possibly where that conversation's coming from. I'm not quite sure, but I was going to spend 30 minutes with you, and I think we're almost at 30 minutes. So let me get this video up. Thank you so much for being with me today and hanging out and having a chat. Oh, I had one more piece of ephemera to get in. Maybe I'll put this in a different journal, because this is a big piece for no reason, I would say. Put that over there. Yes, have a great rest of your weekend. Thank you so much for the comments and all the views on that last video I posted for Junk Journal July. I don't think I've touched that journal since I made it, because I've been working in the other one. Oh, I'm so tempted to give you a flip of the Virtual Voyage 9 I'll show you that one later. It's huge. I'd actually have to set up the camera differently. So we'll look at that later. But if you're in the workshop, I hope you're getting through everything really, really well. We're almost coming up to the end of that too. I don't want to say that, but it's true, we are. It'll be all wrapping up next Wednesday. We've definitely hit past the halfway point. So make sure you are getting to those lessons if you want to get all of those done. And I'll see you all again really soon. Have a great weekend, everyone. Bye. If I close my eyes